G'day, folks. PJ and Bluntman here, kicking off a new podcast. And today we're going to be talking about Gangsterbet token, GBET. PJ and I have both been in the industry for 4 to 5 years now, researching more so. And PJ is the one that actually come across this Gangsterbet NFT project on the Icon blockchain and passed it on to his dear friend Bluntman. So take it away there, PJ, and have a bit of a chat about GBET and probably the NFT collection itself to start with.
Yeah, nice introduction there, man. So yeah, you're right. I found this little NFT collection which launched a couple of months ago. I call it the little NFT collection because that's what you might think when you first see it, but it actually goes a lot deeper than that, and that really caught my eye. So if I would just have to summarize it in a couple of words, I would definitely say like next generation NFT collection, gamification of DeFi products, and Metaverse. So if you combine these three, then of course you're not talking about a little project anymore.
100%,
so yeah, so but we can just have a look here. So this is the main page for Gangssterbet. As you see, it's really like a funny pixel style collection, and it's based on the 70s mafia setting. So what you have a lot of different, or actually every NFT is different, unique, but they're defined in a couple of categories. So you have detectives and gangsters, and both of them have a lot of different classes. So for example, you have investigators, brains, brutes, poker stars, rum runners, stuff like that. And also the appearance is very different. So you have different races. You have the humans, you have dinosaurs, you have ghosts, aliens. It's quite funny. It's quite creative what they've done here.
And here are the popular ones here, as we can see. And they are quite cool, and they've all got their own different types of accessories with their different rarities, as PJ had touched on. And we'll get to a little bit later. Hopefully we can get it up on screen for some of the sales at the moment, because the floor of these things has absolutely risen, and that is mainly due to the actual utility. So this is not a flat 2D type JPEG that you'd get with in some of these other NFT projects. This stuff is tied in with a lot of different utility. It's got an inflationary token, which is the GBET. However, the deflationary aspect of the GBET token has far outpaced the inflationary aspect. And as you can see here in the opening line, the supply of GBET would decrease periodically, and it will stop after 9 years. Now, 9 years, some people may think is a very long time, but as you alluded to before, when we're talking about DeFi, when we're talking about gamification, we're talking about Metaverse, this thing is going to pop off, man, and it's massive. And it's so cool that they've tapped into that old school, the 70s styles, gangsters and sort of and detectives and cops chasing after one another, and it's going to be so cool to see what they do inside the Metaverse. So so I guess so how many of these things are there? There's 5,555, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. And once they were minted a couple of months ago, then they all started at levels 1. But you can, and here comes the gamification part of it, you can actually level them up to level 10. And there's a lot of benefits to them. We don't know all of it yet because they're building the Metaverse, and they're keeping really quiet. We don't really know that much about it yet.
Part of the fun,
upgrade them, yeah, exactly, that's it. And to upgrade them, the GBET token comes into play. So what's so cool about these NFTs is that by just having one in your wallet, you don't need to stake it, you don't need to lock it or anything. But while having it in your wallet, you will get airdropped 12 GBETs every single day. So the price of them at the moment, the price of a GBET token is about 25 cents at the moment. So for holding one NFT, you'll get $3 every day airdropped. And $3 a day, that's about $1,000 a year. So that's almost APY of about 90% at the moment if you would buy a floor gangster. But as you mentioned, it's inflationary, but due to the utility, it becomes deflationary, because if you want to upgrade these gangsters, you would actually have to use your GBET. And while using them, you burn them, so they can never be used again. And to upgrade a gangster from level 1 to 10, out of my head, I think you use about 26,500 GBET. So you're talking about a large sum of money. I think that's about 4 or 5K USD to fully upgrade one. And then you might think like, okay, why would you do that? Well, the team has rewarded and has been rewarding gangster holders a lot. And the higher your NFT is, the bigger the rewards. So just to name a few, if you hold a level 5 gangster or higher, you will get a piece of 100K OMM token airdrop. They are also introducing a new token, which is called the GG token. That will be the governance token and will also be used to buy plots in the metaverse once it launches. And the higher your NFT, the more GG you get in your airdrop. And they have already stated that if you hold a level 8, 9, or 10 gangster, you will get enough tokens to actually buy a plot. So a level 8 gangster will get enough to buy 1 plot, a level 9 will get enough to buy 2 plots, and a level 10 will get enough to buy 3 plots. So yeah, that's quite a massive reward actually.
100%, man. And there's a lot in there to unpack. And unfortunately for all of our listeners today, we are not going to be able to get into absolutely every detail of that. However, this video is intended to be more of a brief overview. One thing I am actually going to do just now is because as you were talking there about the GBET being burned as people level up their NFTs and get into the different levels, I thought I would just come over here onto the market and have a quick look at some of these that have been listed. So as you can see over here, we can just sort by sort by prices high to low or low to high. So this one here is the lowest on the market, which is 1.03 thousand ICX, which should roughly come to around 12 or 1300
1100
bucks. 1100 bucks.
Something like that.
So there you go. So we've got the level casino worker here. If we wanted to go back to that main page, we can have a look on this sidebar down here. If you just wanted to pick up a gangster or detective, I personally went straight for the gangster because I think I'm cool. But here we go. Here we go here. The detective and the gangster, and you can have a look at all the way up to chief constable for detective, and then all the way up to mob boss here as well for gangster. Now, one thing that you touched on before there, PJ, about using that GBET, which is the utility of the token, to upgrade your gangsters, to get them to a level to be able to receive these additional rewards. Obviously, the early adopters are being rewarded here more so, but with the A-star team that's on board and stuff that's being built, we know that it's going to be, at the very worst, mildly successful. So people are going to want to continue to build up these guys and get that additional utility going forward. Now, if I had a time machine, man, I'd be back 4 weeks ago and picking up as many of these things as I possibly could and ranking them up, because I'm currently sitting on a Queen's Gambit, which I love her to death, but she's a level 10, but she's not quite 100%. She's not quite all the way, and it's just irking me. Because what were we, 3 or 4 weeks ago, we were sitting at about a 5-cent GBET token, if not a bit cheaper. And GBET's actually held up really well in the market bleed at the moment, currently sitting at around 25 cents, I believe. So, yeah, I mean, it's...
But just to add to that, Luke, is that, you know, you might, the token has appreciated in price a lot, and the gangsters have also, because the mint price was 80 ICX, and now it's over 1,000. But you're not too late. Because if you pick up an NFT now, your APY is about 90%. Plus, you're still eligible for all these airdrops. So you have the GG airdrop. You also have the ice and the snow airdrop, which are also going to NFT holders. And you have that OMM airdrop. And that is just what we know of now. That is what the team has introduced in the last couple of months. So we know there's a lot more coming. The Metaverse isn't even built yet. The plot sale, I think that is coming somewhere in February. So you still have plenty of time to get in, get yourself known with the ecosystem, and start earning some GBET and get prepared for the plot sale.
That is very true. 100%, man. And again, with that GBET token, we spoke of the DeFi meets gaming in this Gangsterbet project, and obviously there's NFTs involved as well. So on the farming side of things, man, run me through it. What's happening? What are you doing personally? This is not financial advice, of course, but there are quite a couple of plays that you can do here, and one of them to earn the GG token is participate in the GBET/BNUSD pool on the Balancer platform. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. And to be honest, to give some alpha away here in the video, is that is the best way and the most productive way to earn GG tokens. But they have introduced some other ways as well. I mean, obviously, like I said, you can level up your gangster using GBET. You will get a big airdrop as well. And the other way is to vote for Gangsterbet as a P-rep. You can do this both with your ICX and with OMM tokens, which give you a little bit more voting power. If you choose to go for the OMM way, then make sure that you vote at least one ICX in addition to Gangsterbet, because else they don't the rewards are not paid out. So yeah, that's the 3 ways to earn GG at the moment.
Yeah. And just a side note, guys, if you're not sure on what impermanent loss is, then the pool is probably not for you. If you're banking on GBET going to $1 like we all are, or $10 like some people are, then participating in a pool which will suffer impermanent loss may not be for you. So please keep that in mind and do your own research. So shall we just touch on the actual tokenomics and circulating supply of GG now, because how many are currently circulating? We did mention before that the deflationary aspect and burning is outpacing the inflationary. How many are actually zinging around at the moment?
Yeah, so that is also important. That's the GBET token. So the GBET token is the utility token. On the top of my head, at the moment, we have about 18 million tokens that have been put out in circulation. But at the moment, there's only 6.5 million left, or even a bit less. So that means that about 12 million tokens out of the 18 million tokens have been burned to either, yeah, you see it on the screen here now, changeable properties. There's 3 ways or actually 2 ways that GBET gets burned. You can change the name of your gangster, and you can upgrade your gangsters, and then you will also burn the GBET used. At a later stage, they will also introduce, and I think that is really cool, they will introduce stories. So you can actually write your own story about your gangster, give it a little bit of a history, a biography of, what this gangster is about. And that will cost you GBET and GG to write that story. And, it will be put on the blockchain. So even if you sell the NFT, it will still be there. And even if somebody will change the story, it will always be there. So I think that's really a cool little add-on there.
100%, man. I agree with that. And so just quickly, we'll actually run you through what this looks like here. So this is my lady. This is my Queen's Gambit.
It looks good, man.
See here that she's accumulated 216 GBET since I've owned her. And here we are, Mob Boss. So she's at the highest rank. However, these are the ranking bars that I have not filled in as yet. So she's 100% in racketeering. She's 100% in street smart. So I've still got physicality, gambling, and shooting to go. So if I'm to jack all of these up now, it will give you a preview of how much that will actually cost in GBET to get her to 100%. So 8,550 GBET to update these 50 stats. So it's pretty cool. And there's actually someone in the community who has worked on a rarity scale. Is it Akil? He was just a community member who's gone ahead and done something himself. You can touch on that, PJ?
That's pretty cool, yeah, because there's so many different attributes that these gangsters have. Some have a cane, some have a cocktail glass in their hand. I personally like the ones with a Tommy gun. I mean, I think that those are pretty cool. But he actually made the tool to check how rare your gangster is compared to others, and even rank them from 1 to 5,555. So shout out to Akil for making that. I mean, that's so cool that we have that now. And I don't have any in the top 200-300. I think my rarest one is like a 400-ish one. But I mean, it's still cool.
Hey man, we are both. The bottom line is that we are both still in the top 5,555. So I think we're going to be okay. I think we're going to be okay because there's still millions of people who don't have one. So I think we're going to be all right. It is an important tool though, because there are other NFT projects out there who have got that rarity tool, and it is a very, very good thing to be able to reflect back on and see how much your Gangstar is truly worth. I mean, there is a fair bit of speculation, especially in such an early project like GBET right now. But going forward, having that tool, and if you do have, you know, a dozen of these things, if you did want to flick off a Gangstar later on to make some profit, you know, to invest in another project or whatever it is, it's still a very, very cool metric to see. And to come from the community is huge. They are the best community, man. They are, I mean, they are a bunch of really cool cats, and they get behind the project and the whole icon ecosystem too, which is which is pretty nuts. So I think the next thing that we definitely need to touch on is metaverse specifics for what we do know. You mentioned before about the plot sales, but then the interoperability with Icons 2.0 BTP. So have at it, man. Sink your teeth in. What do you reckon? This is going to it's a game changer. It's a game changer, isn't it?
That's it. I mean, we all know the BTB technology, which Icon is now implementing. This will take some time, of course, to get to a level that it's running smooth and everything. But it really looks like the team is actively having this in mind. So at a first generation of the metaverse, I personally can imagine that a lot of the Icon native projects will want to get in and have their products play some kind of a role in the metaverse. I mean, it makes sense to me that, you know, maybe a DeFi platform or maybe, you know, a racing game or something like that would like to get in and present their products. But of course, at a later stage, why not have portals to other metaverses? Why not have portals to a Solana metaverse, or, you know, the Red Fox metaverse that we know a lot about? So yeah, I think the sky's the limit. We don't really know too much about it, other than that in the initial stage, there will be plots, there will be staking opportunities, and they are already, they did release some information about that. They're going to set up a pub where your NFTs can chill out, get a beer, and while they're sitting there, they will be earning some tokens. So I really like this gamification of DeFi products. I think it's going to be pretty damn cool for sure.
Yeah, and that's so that's it, guys. Yeah, thanks very much for tuning in. We look forward to doing it again, and we hope to see you back here soon. Sounds cringy as saying this, PJ, but hit the like and subscribe button down the bottom.
Like and subscribe, please. Yeah, and also, I mean, there's a lot to cover for the project. We didn't cover all, so please, we'll put some links below. Just check it out, have a play, and don't forget to reach out on Discord or Telegram if you have some questions. The community is very willing to help.
Absolutely, no worries. And if there is something you want us to dive deeper into, don't be afraid to leave a comment and tell us exactly what that is, and our next video can touch on that.
Yeah, cool, man.
Beautiful. All right. Thanks, PJ. Good stuff, man.
Thanks, man. Yeah. See you, man.
See you, man. Peace.